Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Growing with Fishes podcast, episode 211. This week, we have former presidential candidate Vermin Supreme joining us. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Welcome.
Hey everybody! Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here. Woohoo!
It's going to be a really awesome episode, I promise you. We also have Marty from AP Meds.
Welcome, everybody. Going Roger. Vermin, welcome.
Hi Marty.
We also have Roger from ILGM. How's it going, Roger?
It's doing great. Nice to be back. It's been a couple weeks. I've been, busy on the farm, and it's really good to be back. Especially, I needed the way things are going after the hurricane this week. I really needed a show that's going to be fun. So I'm glad that you're going to have fun tonight. Yeah. Well, we have fun every night. I don't mean to say that. We do always have fun, but
Let the fun commence.
Yes, sir.
And I'm your host, Steve from Ponics, and this is the Growing with Fishes podcast. And we do a cannabis education, cannabis and vegetable and sustainable agricultural practices podcast every single week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how busy we are. And we try to bring in interesting guests that have different perspectives, maybe have done different things in the industry or brought different light to different parts of the industry. And Mr. Vermin Supreme has done quite a bit for helping promoting cannabis issues around the country. He's one of the few people that travels to some of the more less known places and less publicized places, and it helps bring some attention to them and the different things going on. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Well, thank you very much once again. Yes, indeedy duty. I think I have the distinction. As you know, I ran for the Libertarian nomination this past year, and I believe that pretty much at every debate, I won the category of smoked most cannabis or vaped most cannabis during the debate. And so, yes, I think that was very, very noteworthy. Very noteworthy. Yes, I was certainly.
Perhaps the only noteworthy thing, right?
Yes.
You're the first.
When John Stossel asked me, did I support legalization? Oh yes, I lit up right there and then. Oh yes, I did.
That's neat.
And with that very action, you became the very first presidential candidate to ever smoke during a debate, making history.
Ooh, historic. I like it.
Oh yes, absolutely. So tell people a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit of background on a little bit about you.
Okay, well, of course, I'm Vermin Supreme, the friendly fascist, the tyrant that you should trust, and you should let me run your life because I know what is best for you. Yes, all politicians are vermin, and I am the Vermin Supreme, and that is why I'm the most qualified candidate in this race at this time. I am a politician, and I will lie to you because I'm a politician, and I have no reason not to. I will promise you anything your little heart desires because you are my constituents, because you are the informed voting public, and because I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make. Yes, it's true. I've been running a satirical, facetious, humor-based pretend campaign, if you will, for over 30 years now. I am a highly respected political satirist, beloved by millions around the globe. And yeah, so that's super exciting. By being a goofball and promoting real stupid ideas and crazy shit and interacting with real life politicians and actually interacting with real life ballots and getting on the ballots. I've managed to accrue a fair amount of notoriety, if you will, by doing that and mixing that up in the demonstration world for quite some time. And yeah, I guess that's me in a nutshell. And of course, I smoke dope and I smoke grass. And if you don't like it, well, you can kiss my ass. Thank you very much. I'm Vermin Supreme.
I've had the pleasure of meeting you once I think it was outside of a Bernie Sanders rally in Colorado or somewhere in that part of the country. It was quite wonderful. And So tell people a little bit about some of the different cannabis things that you've done. You've done quite a few different things in person, aside from the being the first person to smoke during a debate. You've brought quite a different quite a few other times you brought up different cannabis related topics.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Well, I used to occasionally party with Jack Harar before I even really knew that he was a big deal. When we were just hippies and shit out in the woods at rainbow gatherings and things like that. Um, so that I've got credit. I think my first hash bash was back in 1992 in I guess we're in Ann Arbor. That was exciting. Ben Mazel, the legendary cannabis activist from Wisconsin, actually brought me out to that. Of course, I'm constantly promoting cannabis consumption through use, of course, and I don't think that's any secret. Um, and just loving life and living large. For a little bit there, I was attending a lot of the sort of freewheeling gray market cannabis events in Massachusetts, in Maine, in New Hampshire, and when it was all sort of. I mean, it's still sort of not quite legal, but they were still occurring, and always fun to take part in that sort of excitement. Um, and yeah, like that, like that. I think just more by example, leading smoking weed by example. And of course, as a libertarian candidate, a plank of the libertarian platform itself is certainly the legalization, decriminalization of all drugs, certainly including cannabis, and definitely all about ending the drug war, because of course the drug war in this country has been a frightening and terrible nightmare that continues to this very day. And so I think it's very exciting and a good just seeing this change in America, where different states are legalizing and decriminalizing and allowing medical use and all those things. I remember the first time that me and my wife were traveling the country, and we ended up in Oregon shortly after they decrimmed, and oh my goodness, it was just this amazing level of relief, just this whole level of stress that sort of leaves your body. You're driving down the road, and like you see a cop, and it's like, instead of saying, "Oh my God, I'm holding some weed," it's like, "Huh, I'm not doing anything," and you just keep going about your business. And that in and of itself was just an incredible revelation. And I certainly hope that it does indeed become a federal reality soon enough, and hopefully all the prisoners will be let out and reimbursed for their troubles, for this terrible, terrible crime that the federal government put forth with this prohibition. Prohibition doesn't work. Prohibition has never worked, and all it did was create a terrible black market and punished many peaceful people who would have been far better off in their communities with their families and their loved ones.
Here, here.
Which was the same situation when they tried to do it with alcohol, right? I mean, they created a black market for it that was extremely dangerous and volatile. And, people that have been brewing for generations got involved in a lot of stuff they wouldn't have otherwise.
Oh,
Basically,
true.
it's part of organized crime.
Same regardless.
Absolutely. I'm old enough to remember in the 70s when the U.S. government poisoned their own citizens with their spraying of paraquat on the marijuana crops. And now it's just an outrage. I mean, why the hell are you pouring and spraying chemicals, terrible chemicals on the crops? That was just what an outrage.
Yeah, people forget that they were willing to do that to cannabis users just 40 years ago. It wasn't even that long
Yeah.
ago.
Yes, I mean, they poisoned alcohol during Prohibition, purposely poisoned their own citizens, and did the same thing with the cannabis there for a bit. Boo!
So what's it like there in Massachusetts? It sounds like it's quite interesting there. Tell us more about that. I don't think we've had anyone tell us much about the Massachusetts scene.
Well, it's very wonderful. It was decrim for a while, and then they went full on limited growth, where you can, let's see if I can remember. I believe that you can possess up to 9 ounces of flour. I believe that is the law, and we are allowed, or um, to grow, or to possess up to 6 flowering plants, up to 12 flowering plants per household. Um, and I do believe they may have some minor guidance restrictions over your grow. I'm not sure if they want to see a fence. I haven't really read it for a while because I just sort of do what I do, which is grow my own weed in my yard because we can and it's legal. Woo, 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 yay! And so that's boy, what a great thing that is in of itself. I believe that you are supposed to keep your stash, if you're traveling in a car, locked in your trunk or locked in your glove box, lest they treat it as an open container situation. So obviously, it's better here. It's gooder here. I mean, I feel much more confident about going about my daily life without that particular level of paranoia. I mean, obviously, I remember one year when the drug task force buzzed over with their helicopters and looked down, and by all rights should have seen my measly little plants that I was growing, but they were so distracted by all the other crazy stuff going on in my yard that they didn't see it. But just that. I mean, I was out there, and my heart was beating, and for months thereafter, almost years, every time my neighbors would fire up their lawnmower, it would get me going. It would be like, oh. So it's just such a better all around atmosphere when we can really not have those worries about being locked up and jacked up and harassed and um, all of those things.
For a plant,
And
it's ridiculous.
So what are the more popular products over there? People leaning more towards flowers, a lot of concentrates, a lot of edibles. What's kind of popular? What are your favorites? Maybe that's a better question.
well, I just I like my homegrown. I mean, we got a brand new dispensary here in town, Happy Valley. They've got a big grow going on in this industrial park, and let's see, we got tried some GG, which was their version of the Gorilla Glue. Of course, the Gorilla Glue has the copyright on it, so they have to their knockoff or whatever. And let's see. We're going to a drive-in music show up in New Hampshire tomorrow night. It's a Grateful Dead style cover band, and there's going to be fireworks. And so we picked up some Thank You Jerry is a flavor that they got. And what was the other one? Something about oh, some Grateful Dead themed one actually, but we haven't busted into those yet because we are waiting. We're gonna bust them open there, and looking very much forward to that. And of course, I like the heady weeds. I don't like to be too sedated. I mean, because then you just got to drink the coffee to overcome that. So yeah, I like my CBDs, like my THCs, and all the various combinations thereof. Yes, indeed. Amen.
Do you
Woo,
have a
woo.
do you have a particular strain that you've been growing for a long time, or anything that you've been kind of really loving on for a couple of years?
By the time all is said and done, I labeled all it. They're labeled the seeds in the beginning, and then I start to put the little labels what they are, and but then by the time I've repotted them all into their final form. Most of the time, I've completely forgotten what in the heck they are, and I don't keep them separate, and so it gets all mixed up. And so no, I guess I'm not really a connoisseur snob like that. I mean, I have a great appreciation for all the wonderful flavors and the smells and the tastes and the various buzzes and stuff. Um, but it's just they're just all good. They're just all good for me. I like them. Yay! And one of these days, yes, I do hope to have a Vermin Supreme strain out. Had a friend in LA who was working on one. It was a very high THC, high CBD, with a minty fresh taste and aroma to it, which was very related to the mandatory toothbrushing and dental hygiene awareness platform, which I've been pushing for so long.
Yeah, you always have that giant toothbrush. Why don't you tell people about that?
Well, one of the very important issues that I am known for in my political career is, of course, the mandatory toothbrushing law. And of course, the important thing to remember about that is yes, gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of our great nation for long enough and must be stopped. For too long, our country has been suffering a great moral and oral decay in spirit and in sizers. A country's future depends on its ability to bite back. We can no longer be a nation indentured. Our very salvation is at stake. So please, won't you join me as we skip over the bridge work into the 23rd century? Let us brace ourselves, bite the bullet, and become a sea of shining, smiley, smiling, shining, smiley, shining, shiny, smiling, smiling, shining, smiling, smiling, shiny, 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 smiling, 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 shiny, 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 smiling, smiling, shiny, smiling faces from sea to shining sea. Now, friends, don't be fooled by false teeth prophets. This mandatory toothbrushing law is not about the secret dental police kicking down your door at 3 a.m. to make sure that you have brushed your teeth for your safety or your children's. No, friends, it is not. It is not about the dental re-education centers. It's not about the preventative dental facilities. It is not about the government issued toothpaste containing an addictive yet harmless substance. No, friends, it is not even about the DNA gene splicing to create a race of winged monkeys to act as tooth fairies. No, friends, what this mandatory toothbrushing law is really about is strong teeth for a strong America. Thank you. I'm Vermin Supreme. So, as you can see, yes, I am a citizen dental advocate, and mandatory toothbrushing is a very, very important issue to my campaign and has been for quite some time. And of course, that's something to keep in mind because, a lot of stoners, they smoke the weeds and, they inject the marijuana or whatever, and then they get the munchies and they want to start eating, and then they get a little drowsy and maybe a little nod off without brushing their teeth. So it's yes, sometimes I'll carry the giant toothbrush to remind all you stoners out there who smoke their weeds and inject the cannabises and get all stoned and just don't forget to brush your teeth. Thank you. This has been a public service announcement. Vermin Supreme.
So you're a big supporter of the Cannabis Hemp Heritage Act of 2020. Do you want to tell us more about that?
I believe I totally, absolutely, 100% endorse that sucker. Oh, I thank you for reminding me. I sometimes I endorse so many things and get, it's like vermin wheat, but if I'm fully behind it 100%. Now, can I tell you anything about it? Oh, goodness, heck no. I should have, I guess I should have been paying a little more attention. That could have actually been asked. But the fact of the matter is that I fully support it. I don't remember what it is, though. Now, I'm not a stoner. I'm not sure if I really knew fully what it was before. I know my people reached out. I know Jay West out there at Hollywood and Vine was involved, and he put that forth to me, and I felt that that was the least that I could do as a person with some semblance of sway for some reason. Some people, they. I don't know. It's like I'm a big deal on the internet or some shit. I don't really know. But he felt that it would be very important and useful for me to promote that particular issue. Now, let me think if I can. Okay, what was it about again? It was about growing. Was it about growing?
Yes, it's about kind of repealing a lot of the stuff that Amendment 64 caused in California. Before, I'm sure you were also friends with Dennis Barone, or had been over there. I'm sure, if you
Absolutely.
knew
Over the
Jack
years,
Herrera.
for sure. Yeah,
Yep.
no, I knew many years at the Rainbow gatherings because Dennis would go to the Rainbow gatherings. I think that's where I knew him a lot from, for sure. Good guy.
Oh yeah, and Wayne and all them, they're good people down there still. And Dennis isn't with us anymore, but there's many good people that are still fighting the good fight down there in San Francisco.
Amen. Amen for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's see.
So it's going to help, hopefully here, repeal a lot of the stuff that Amendment 64 caused, and help bring in industrial hemp production, help protect cannabis hemp euphoric um, use as well, and then also bring the taxes in line, make it much easier for people to get legal permits. Favor people that have been growing traditionally in traditional growing areas, and kind of again undo a lot of the insanity that Amendment 64 did. That's actually how I met Dennis Barone, was lobbying against Amendment 64 together in
Mm,
California. So
well, good. Good, good, good. Yes, no, it's about time, and yes, I fully support all of the things as I have said on the record. Obviously, 100% down with that. Yes. How is it looking? Is it looking good?
I'm not sure on the chances of it going through. I just had a chance to read through it today and saw that you'd supported it and familiarized myself with it a little bit, but that's all there was. I actually wasn't familiar with it until I actually was doing research on you as a guest. So
Okay, well, I'm very glad that that led to that. That's a very, very fortuitous turn of events that you realized that you looked into something because I supported it, and then you knew more about it than I knew about it, who supported it. So that's boy, thank you very much. You really saved my ass on that one.
oh, no worries. Hey, I'm glad you're out there supporting the community. Every little bit of support helps. The number one enemy of cannabis is lack of education, and the more we can all do as a community to help fight that, the better. Well, did you have any other agriculture-related topics that you wanted to bring up since we're on the topic of cannabis and agriculture? I know you have quite a few other agricultural policies that you're passionate.
Um, Such as you've done the research, you better refresh my memory here. I guess
Oh
I should
yes,
have known.
well
Took
you're also a very
I
big
mean,
proponent of equines and other
oh, well,
large
yes,
animals.
yes. I mean, of course. I mean, I guess that's livestock. I guess that's loosely affiliated with the agriculture. I guess we can make that stretch. We can go there. We can take that leap. I thought perhaps you were leaning towards the zombie-based energy power plants that I have proposed
Okay.
in the past. But of course, I guess it's arguable that zombies, since they're sort of undead, I guess they're vegetables. I guess, sure, technically, a zombie could be considered a vegetable, perhaps. And I guess you do harness them. Sort of like raising them, which is sort of like livestock, and then putting them on giant hamster wheels. And hamsters are like livestock too. Sure. There is that. Yes, of course, it could be because it's all tied into the Green New Deal, which is sort of deindustrializing society. And of course, I've always been a proponent of victory gardens because I believe that they should be mandatory, especially in this day and age when things seem to be uncertain, when the uh, ecological catastrophes are unfolding in front of us, and there's all the supply chain issues, which were shown to be quite vulnerable during the pandemic and COVID times, and let alone the climate change itself and all of these things. So yes, I think it's a great idea that everybody should be growing a lot more food and learning to preserve it through canning and pickling and all of those things for sure. I mean, of course, a lot of it's addressed in my book here, iPony, Blueprint for a New America. It is, of course, a story about the future long after a Vermin Supreme presidency, after everybody has their pony, after zombie power fuels the nation, after the secret dental police have set up checkpoints every couple hundred yards or so for your safety. It is a warning from the people of the future to you, the people of their past, your present, that Vermin Supreme is a madman and must be stopped. True story. So, of course, available at iponythebook.com, and there are some lot of nice drawings. There's a lot of great artwork throughout, and I highly recommend that you check it out. And it does have a lot of the ants. There's a picture of one of the zombie turbines. You can see there's the zombies, and there's the giant turbine. Let's see there. There's a picture of the zombies in battle against the pony drones. Because yes, the pony drones. I guess we were getting to that sort of. Let's see. What else we got here? And of course, I'd be remiss if I did not titillate your audience with the extremely graphic pony erotica illustration that is part of that book. Once again, yes, it goes there, and it's like once again, it's a story about a man and a woman and their family and their fight to save America from the zombies. Spoiler alert! It's there's Zombie Kong appears in it also. But of course, I think you're perhaps we're leading me to the possibility of talking about the ponies, the free ponies for all Americans, of course, which is
Oh yes,
indeed another very
we're
important
thinking that
platform.
the waste from all those ponies would be great for growing all the victory gardens and all the cannabis and all the victory gardens.
Oh, absolutely. The pony poop is one of the major, most exciting side products of it. The re-upping the soil that has been destroyed by years of agribiz and massive factory farming and all that. So, for sure, and of course, it's a three-pronged energy platform. You have the zombie power. You also have the methane gas and the methane harnessing, and yes, and the pony transportation itself, which is essentially we're looking at a post-fossil fuel world. I said, and it's very easy to envision. You're driving down the highway and you look around, and you just envision that all those cars are ponies and carts, and you yourself are in a pony and cart. And sure, it's a little slower, it's a little calmer, and it takes a little longer. But what's the hurry, really? Especially in this post fossil fuel, perhaps post industrial society. One of the important things to understand about, of course, ponynomics is that once you once you have received your free pony, once all Americans receive their free pony, you will not only have your free pony, but you will also have equity in the pony that you own. Because of course you own something, you have equity in it, and if you have equity in something, well, then you can use it as collateral and borrow against it. So we've established a pony-based debt, And of course, debt's a very important part of the economy. Banks make all their money on debts, lending it and selling it, and you can buy debt, and you can sell debt, and countries own like trillions of dollars of each other's debt, and so and Wall Street's based on it's a house of cards based on debt essentially. So yeah, and so we're going to create. And so once we have created debt, then we're going to need to create a financial pony-based debt instruments. We'll bring in the brightest and the smartest from all the Ivy Leagues, and they will help create incredibly opaque, hard to understand, impossible to grok financial instruments. So what we'll be doing is buying and selling pony debt and creating a bubble within the economy. Now, as you know, when you have created a bubble in your economy, I mean that's a great thing because it means that the economy is firing on all cylinders. Everybody's working. Things are happening. Wall Street's making money hand over fist. And of course, it is a minor concern with many people. They say, "Oh, but bubbles burst," and this bubble is going to be different because it is going to be reinforced and steel belted and last forever. Fact. Now, some people ask me, Vermin, is it true that we are going to be literally using ponies as currency? And I say, of course not. That would be crazy until we can make them really, really small.
So, so what grow tips do you have for your garden? Do you use pony compost in your garden for your plants right now currently?
Oh, when possible. Just a little bit of human manure occasionally. But that's after a year of composting. It's ready for that. Um, I like to. I've got some really nice compost. I've been throwing leaves off this cliff for many years. If you watch the documentary Who is Vermin Supreme, which is a great documentary. Please watch it on Vimeo. Covers my whole crazy career. Um, and you can see it's a 2012 documentary, and they show me throwing leaves off this cliff. And this year, I started getting that compost, those composted leaves, and mixing it into the soil that I tend to use again every year after I replenish it. I used definitely some cow manure when I was replenishing the soil, and I do like to add um, liquid compost nutrients. My friend Glenn Batten out in Pennsylvania has Mother Earth Organic. He puts out, which is a liquid compost. So I've used that. And locally, we have a friends Ann and Dave, uh, who do Nature's Harvest, and they produce a a product from fish guts, essentially, because we live in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and there is still somewhat of a fishing industry. And so, after processing the fish, there's a fair amount of fish guts and fish bones and skins. And they somehow, through their secret magic composting process, turn it into this very uh, fine liquid product, and they have a organic version which tends to smell a little bit more. It's not really good if you have an indoor grow. It's a little fishy, but for outdoors, it's totally fine. And I think that was the main nutrients that I use are the Mother Earth organics and uh, nature. What was the other one I called? Yes. What do you like?
I'm a big supporter of aquaponics, and then we all love our plant ferments, various compost teas, and some ferment-based stuff. Big fan of fermented stinging nettle. Big fan of mullein and comfrey. Comfrey is another really good one for your compost. We do all different types of stuff. As far as bottled nutrient stuff or off the shelf stuff. Real big fan of like you're saying, Down to Earth. A big fan of theirs. I've used quite a bit of their products as well.
Nice.
Mammoth P.
MFP as well. Yeah.
Yeah, bottle. Yeah, I know y'all love that. Everybody loves that.
So is there any strains out there that you're hoping to grow, maybe you haven't grown yet, but are on your list, or anything out there that you've maybe tried and you'd love to grow, or some other type of plant, maybe not even cannabis, that you'd love to grow that you haven't had a chance to grow yet?
We've got the tomatoes grow. We got a lot of tomatoes this year. We haven't have had very much success with the broccoli. I don't know if the I think we like growing the corn because it has such a nice look to it, and we've been it's sort of a container garden this year, and the kale was successful. The kale was super successful. And the lettuce was very successful. Um, and I think we like the corn just so ornamental. I think we're gonna try and get a fair amount of corn and maybe build our own little mini corn maze just because it has such a good look to it. And this year I've been we're not often home this time of year. A lot of times we're like at the Rainbow Gathering or visiting family in Michigan. But with the COVID and the cancellations of all these events, we found ourselves home this time of year, and I've been picking blueberries and June berries, and I cut the tail end of the June berries, and the June berries are like something that I discovered. I've been living with them for 30 years in the woods, and would always like walk down the trail and see all these like smushed purple black berries on the ground and not give them much thought. But then this year I looked up and found the trees where I could reach them and started collecting uh, pints, and then I started giving myself a quota. I would pick a quart of June berries, and when they stopped when they passed into the blueberries, and now the blueberries are letting up, and now it's blackberries, and so I've been really spending a fair amount of time. For I don't know, I can't say time better spent. But I just been really spending an hour and a half, 2 hours, just picking berries in nature, and that is it's very zen, very chill, and it's I'm loving it, and hoping to do more thing. The black walnuts are starting to come down, and so I think we're starting to collect those. Of course, they're really hard to open sometimes, but so yeah, I think we're a little foraging movie going.
That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of foraging. I used to do a ton both in Pennsylvania and in Colorado. Love getting the fiddleheads back east. It's definitely something that we don't find out west here. At least I haven't. And then all the wonderful mushrooms. Are you also a mushroom hunter as well?
A little bit. Ones that I can tell for sure, the Boletus, that's a pretty solid one I could pick out. And the hen of the woods, for sure, and like that. Mainly those two. And yes, they are just. It's just so wonderful to be able to find the food in the nature. It's oh, there's nothing better, nothing better, I think. And of course, greens, dandelion greens, and dandelions when they're coming up. And for years we were doing with dandelion wine. That was a pretty regular thing we were doing. And wine is so simple. I mean, it's so fun. I mean, if you do beer, you sort of have to it just takes too much water, and if you're living a little bit off the grid without the water, but the wine is so low maintenance, really. I mean, you just put it, you start it and you put it away and come back to it months and months later. So yeah,
Oh
blueberry.
yes, we
Yeah.
are. We are all big fans of dandelion ferment. It actually has quite a bit of potassium, high in iron. Very good for your garden. You could actually just do a basic steep ferment on it as a straight plant food. It's wonderful.
That's
Ah.
what I use for my FPJ is dandelions. Found out they were edible, and I do the ferment with the brown sugar, like Chris Trump teaches for natural farming, and then you cap it. But the last thing you do to cap it get all the air out is you cap it with a half inch of brown sugar. So when it's all done and set and turned into like like it's a jelly or a liquid, a thick liquid, you take the top off and you got dandelion candy.
Wow. Woohoo. That sounds great.
It is good. Yeah, I'm gonna try your dandelion wine because I got blackberries and dandelions all over the place. And I'm in the South, so I
Oh
get them
yeah.
a
Oh,
long
it's
time.
so good. It's so sweet. Yeah, and yeah, I think it raisins and yeast and just you just boil down the dandelion mash or even I can't remember if you boil or you soak it, but boom, it's really a very simple process right up front, and then you just let it sit and put it somewhere and forget about it, and then come back to it down the line and bottle it. Oh, highly
What kind of
recommend it.
container you leave it in when you make it up?
Sort of just big glass jugs.
Okay, so big
Like,
mason jars.
yeah, uh,
Oh,
sort of yeah, glass 2 gallon
oh,
jugs.
oh, okay.
You got to get yeah, or even gallon jugs. Really, I think we had it or bigger. You could go 5 gallon jugs if you wanted to, I suppose.
Okay. These are
And
jugs.
you just need the little airlock thing. You plug it in, and so it can release the carbon dioxide or whatever it's burping out there. As the yeast ingests the sugar and excretes the alcohol.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. I'll have to get on that pretty soon.
Oh yes. Oh, please do. You will thank me.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
Any other brew tips? It sounds like you're quite the brewer.
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while, but yeah, I just recommend it as a hobby just because it's so simple and so rewarding. And you can do it, if you got a good deal on, even if you dumpstered a pile of this or that, or if you harvest a lot of this or that, you can make a lot of different wines, and there's a lot of recipes for just all sorts of different produce, vegetables and fruits, and it's just really fun.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up your whole night. Is there any other things that you wanted to tell people? Do you want to have a smoke together before we let you? Oh, you have a new thing you're working on. You had launched a new thing. I wasn't able to pop on, but you guys sent me an invite. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, I will indeed. I will indeed. I've been running the imaginary pretend campaign for 30 years. In the last year, I ended up running a real campaign for the Libertarian Party nomination, which was such a very different experience. It was different from anything I'd ever done before. In previous years, it was like I'd go up to the New Hampshire primary for a week or two and screw around with all the other politicians and the media and try and get some publicity there. And then I would go to the conventions, and then maybe I would go to the inauguration. So I would spend maybe a month a year every 4 years, and that brought me to this level of a lot of people knowing me. And of course in 2012 I did the thing where I glitter bombed Randall Terry and got famous on the internet there. And when 2020 rolled around, 2018, this campaign manager, this woman Desiree Lindsay, reached out to me asking me if I wanted to run a serious campaign, and I said, maybe, yeah, sure, why not? And so we did. And the past year, I was debating and attending state conventions and really trying to get the nomination of a real party, which was totally a different thing. So during this time, and we're trying to make this fusion of, bringing in love and compassion into the Libertarian Party, which is not something that it's really known for, and promoting the ideas of mutual aid and helping one another as a way to further society. And these were some of the cornerstones of my campaign, along with the Libertarian platform, party platform, lp.org/platform. But we developed such a team of volunteers and people who became vested in this method of the communication strategy of using nonlinear messaging to try and promote this idea of freedom and fun and laughter. That when I did not receive the nomination for the Libertarian Party, um, we wanted to do something else. We wanted to continue, because there is certainly it is arguable that I have some momentum or a direction, and it's never been totally clear what that might lead to. But we started thinking about it, and we started brainstorming, and we came up with this idea of the Vermin Supreme Institute. And so what we did is we took my name, which is Vermin Supreme, and we added the word institute. and and thus making it sound totally legit. Because if you add the word institute to something, it really sounds legitimate. And so, yes, that is definitely something that we have done. And we are a real thing. You can go to our website, which is verminsupremeinstitute.org. And we have a mission statement that if I can find at my fingertips, I can read to you if and it's on the site itself, and it's pretty simple. Open up, please. Here we go. And oh, where'd it go? Well, that's not it. No, that's not it either. Oh, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Okay. Our purpose is to inspire social evolution through the disruption of authoritarianism to promote compassionate activism and to spread knowledge of redacted history through the use of humor, direct action, and mutual aid. We uplift the disaffected, disenfranchised, and disempowered. And that is what we hope to accomplish, utilizing the special Vermin Supreme sauce that makes it exciting, I guess. And we've got different people working on different projects. We are welcoming various initiatives, and ultimately, it's not completely defined what we are, but we will be defined what we end up doing. And so far, we have a beautiful people's project. We are where we recognize people doing wonderful things. We are starting to put together various history projects. We're an educational organization, and we are going to be developing lesson plans for for classroom and homeschooling for starters. Check us out. I mean,
That's
I could
awesome.
definitely see it.
Always good to see people putting education out there.
Yes, and for example, a project that I'm working on, I've been in talks with different sketch comedy troupes, different college comedy troupes, and I'm offering them the opportunity to illustrate, say, a logical fallacy. And so we're trying to create different content that will be educational and useful and informative uh, for people. And yeah, yeah, we'll see.
That's awesome. Alrighty. Well, did you have any last words for fellow cannabis enthusiasts?
Well, dude, are are you feeling it, man? Are you feeling it? Whoa, 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 head rush, man. Whoa, whoa, that is some heady weed, man. Did you did you ever think you did you ever really look at your fingers, man? Did did you ever really look at your hand? Isn't that isn't that weird? Isn't that wow? Fingers are so cool, man. Um, I don't know. Just keep the good fight. Let's keep the pressure on. It looks like we are making progress, but there are certainly there's much progress yet to be made. There's still many states that still persecute people. There are still too many people in prison for victimless crimes, and a crime without a victim is no crime at all. And so I hope that you will continue supporting all those who are imprisoned and working on their release, in addition to all our various pro cannabis activism. And
There-
and,
There's a question.
be a little careful with it. What's that?
There's a question I'd love to ask you: is what is your prediction on when we'll finally get some federal sanity? And do you think it'll start off as medical only, or do you think they'll actually allow us to go medical and rec off the bat on a federal level?
I don't know. I had high hopes for Trump. He said he was gonna, and he's so crazy. He might just do that in the next coming months, just to outflank Biden or something. So he could use it as some crazy political ploy. But
Kind of,
obviously, Biden and
I'm kind of fingers crossed, hoping that the GOP will try to take it away as a wedge issue and just legalize it to get it off the table. Is what I'm hoping for. But I'm hoping they don't come in with some draconian regulatory structure that just screws everything up. Which
yeah,
they will. They'll screw it up.
yeah.
They're going to come in there the same as they did with hemp. Now the states are setting it up where you set up to fail to grow hemp. So you spend all year to grow hemp, and you can't even the seed companies say, well, we grow seeds that are 0.05 and you got to have them at 0.03. And I mean, it's so minute, it's ridiculous. There's one point that's ridiculous as hell right there.
It's like near beer, you know.
all the flavor and none of the fun. All righty. Well, thanks again so much for joining us. Why don't you tell everybody how to find you if they want to learn more about you and your universe?
Okay, most definitely. Well, I'm on the internet, totally on the internet. You can check out my verminsupreme2020.com. Although I'm pretending to I'm seeking the Republican and the Democratic nomination. I have no high hopes, but that allows me to maintain my website, verminsupreme2020.com. That's where you can buy merchandise and stuff like that. Vermin Supreme Institute.org, which is this exciting new project where we hope to educate and enlighten and entertain. Watch the Vermin Supreme documentary, Who is Vermin Supreme? That is on Vimeo. Check out, I'm on TikTok, The Real Vermin Supreme, until Trump banishes that from America. Vermin Supreme for President on Facebook. It's got a blue check mark. It's official. At Vermin Supreme on Twitter. I think there's a Reddit. There's probably a Discord. And I don't know. You just Google me up. I don't know. Whatever. And if you got an interesting project, reach out to me. If you have something that you think might be umbrellaed or partnered up with the Vermin Supreme Institute. I am definitely hoping to do some hemp education. I'm hoping to partner and do some sort of thing at the Happy Valley dispensary here and stroll through and talk about things. And I mean, it's so hard to, everything's been done under the sun. So we're going to try and do it again, but a little bit different with me. So I guess, yeah, like that. So, yeah, that's all. No big whoop, no big deal. Just me.
Well, it's been a hoot. I can tell you that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and always fun to see people that enjoy showmanship as much as I do, and it's kind of a lost art, and it's wonderful to see you out there, kind of keeping the torch alive.
Oh yes, carrying that torch. I think yeah. Together, we will ride our ponies into a zombie-powered future. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Cheers. All righty. That was awesome. It was a really wonderful having him on. We've wanted to have him on for a long time, and it was really great. You're welcome to take off if you need to, and if not, you're welcome to stick around. We'll kind of recap what we've been up to this week in our gardens before we close down the show. So thanks again, man.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm gotta get up early in the morning. And so I will leave you. And it was wonderful to meet you. And thank you so very much for having me on your show. And hopefully we can all get together and smoke weed sometime.
Oh yeah,
All right.
let me know when you come through Oklahoma. I got a fat sack for you.
Excellent. Excellent. For sure. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.
Good
Take
night.
care. How you doing, Roger? You've been weathering a hurricane. What's up with
Yeah,
you and
we
your
we
garden?
got lucky. Our friends to the north didn't get so lucky. It did hit landfall right above Charleston, and what happened for us is it languished around Florida, but then when it got up near us, it just picked up and took off, and it just went right by us. We were on the north side, I mean the northwest side, so we was far enough off. But we still had basically what the work has been the last couple of days is that we had to get all prepared for the damn thing in case it hit us. And now we got to get everything back out, and put it back where it belongs and, continue our projects. We held up because we saw it. We were getting ready to plastic the greenhouse, double poly the greenhouse, but we decided to wait. And now, since it is hurricane season, my partner asked me, "You think we ought to wait another month?" I don't know. We don't know really, but I found out all the medium I had planned on getting now and tons of plants ready to go that it's not going to be here till September. So that was pretty hard hit in the face today. So I think I'm just going to throw everything that I can throw in my organic garden I built a few years ago that we worked it up and turned it this year. And this is beautiful. I got really thick. Oh, you just walk in and it just is so, I don't know, it's so fluffy. I don't know how to say it's dirt, but it's perfect. I mean, I'm so happy my pumpkins are doing great. I did some beans, even though it's really the wrong time to do beans. I just figured I'd put them out there. And I have, but I'm using shade cloth outdoors. So I got steel poles that I put up and then I hang the shade cloth over top of them. So that makes a real big difference in the summer because it's, you literally, I got to say, it's almost 20 degrees difference, when you walk, and you can see the difference of the shade from the sunny side part of it. But no, we're just going along. I'm working on my OHN and I'm working on, I got to do some new FPJ and some new labs. And so I'm going to be doing that, I think, since we're thinking about holding back on the greenhouse a little bit to go through hurricane season. We'll just keep cleaning up and removing. So I've got some more trees and shrubs to remove out of areas that I want clear because we're extending it this year. We're adding 48 feet. So it's going to be a lot of fun doing that. There's a ton of shit to do. There's never like there's nothing to do, but I'm gonna go through and go ahead and commit to my natural farming inputs right now since we're going to wait on the greenhouse. That's what I was getting at. So that's about it. You know, Amy's going to have her last operation hopefully next Wednesday, I think, and I wish her well. And then she's going to finally, after 10 to 11 months, get out of the hospital. So she's dying to get out, and I'm dying to have her come out and be part of the family and farm again. I know she wants to get out, man. Can you imagine be cooped up in a freaking hospital and you're, like most of the time you're just walking around, but because of COVID, you've really cooped up.
What cultivars are you growing this year?
Shoot. Well, I'm growing all veggies right now because we were going into hemp, so I didn't do anything on the shady side allegedly. I got giant jack-o'-lanterns, and now I'm gonna have to think. Shoot, I got a bunch of new ones this year, Steve, but I do know one that I've found that's interesting. I had a guy call me up because he saw even my ad in Market Maker, which is the South Carolina Certified Growers Association, which like your South Carolina Certified Grown Department of Agriculture certified, or how he called me up and asked me if I'd grow peppers for somebody. And I told him we were building the greenhouse, and I said, so what do you want? Because he wants to make a sauce. I said, what do you want to do? He said, we're going to make a sauce. And I said, so what do you want? What kind of pepper? And he goes, I'm looking for a lemon drop. You ever heard of lemon drop? It's a pretty, all right, cool. Well, for all of you out there, I look at the picture and it looks like it's amongst the really hot peppers. It's got a little tail at the bottom of it. But here's the kicker, and for you people that like to cook, and this intrigued me. I bought a whole bunch of these seeds because if it is what it is, I think I'm going to love it. It's a hot citrusy tasting pepper that has a lemon flavor to it. So if you wanted to cook, imagine that having a hot pepper and lemon in the same pepper. So I'm really intrigued with that. I got some interesting, was it some basil? Shoot, what was it? It was from Thailand or Taiwan. I don't know, but I got it. I decided to experiment with a little basil and start drying and you know leaves, spices and stuff like that. So I tried two or three different kind of basils, and one of them, yes, Thai basil, and it has purple flowers. So I thought that would be really interesting, as far as it, because my idea. So I've always, excuse me, I've always tried to cater as well as growing, producing for Whole Foods. I've always tried to cater to restaurants because I've got a passion for cooking, and I think it'd be cool, really cool to be able to bring interesting things that a chef couldn't get anywhere else and find a market that way too. And I'm going to hit the like the Asian markets this year. I'm going to try to maybe start growing some stuff to cater to them because there's so many of them, and they're really big on having fresh stuff. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's all about margins in this business. If you can't grow it and make a few bucks, it's not worth doing it unless you're growing food for your community, or if you're sowing dear to a church or something like that. For me, I just want to help people that are in need. When I have extra food or it doesn't sell at the market, I just take it and give it to people that you can't afford to buy a bunch of good produce. So because I don't need, I don't need. I would love to get rich, but I don't need to get rich. So I'm rich just by when I help somebody out. So, thanks. Yeah, thanks. I can't. There's some other things I'm growing, but a bunch of different tomatoes. But I can't even tell you most of the names, because I picked out a whole bunch of new tomatoes, and I just wanted to experiment this year. So I apologize for that. Partially, since a lot of you may not know, I'm legally blind, so normally I would probably read the crap out of the little envelope about everything about it on the envelope, and I would have known the names of everything, but I can't find my notebook. I had a notebook when I planted everything in the starter cells. I had a notebook. I've been searching for that thing for 2 weeks. It ticks me off because, of course, I put sticks in there. That's another problem. I wrote with a Sharpie on the damn white plastic sticks, and every time I change seeds from one cultivar to another, and they faded off, most of them. So, I'm kind of feel like when oh geez, I can't believe this. Our guest,
Me, Vermin.
Vermin. There you go, Vermin. When he brought up the same thing, it's like I don't know what the hell I got. I think I'm just going to throw them all in the garden, and then we'll see what color they are when they grow. I do have some small tomatoes. I got some grape tomatoes because I'm not really big on smaller tomatoes, but this year I decided. For the same thing, I was growing some aromas. Now that I think about it, I'm growing some grape tomatoes because I love to put them in chili. I just love when they cook in a whole, and you stew it for a while, and then you eat the chili, and you get one of them little grape tomatoes, and it just pops, tomato in your mouth. I love that shit, man. So that's about it, Steve. What's up with you? I mean, I know you're working your butt off in Oklahoma. You probably got a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, I got 2 labs going up right now on 2 different projects, which is a lot of fun. We have a couple of different grows I'm helping here and there on. We have a big greenhouse we're planning for next year for another client down here in southern Oklahoma, and then a large new project in Illinois, which is going to be awesome sometime next year. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, in the early stages, with a new state like that, you never know, but always going to be a lot of fun on some bigger projects, and we'll have fingers crossed, we'll have our COAs back, and we'll get our first batch of our new products out in Oklahoma tomorrow or Saturday. So super stoked to have a bunch of cool new edibles out on the market. Some really rapid acting stuff for people that are needing rapid acting pain relief or just need to get high really fast. So going to be really, really cool. And then some other interesting products that we've been working on with some other people and helping them with their stuff. So be on the lookout for that. We'll have more information on that. We're just kind of waiting for our COAs so we can do an announcement the same day that we're launching it to the stores. So it'll be a lot of fun. So look for that. And then we also have the virtual Aquaponic Cannabis Conference coming up on October 3rd and 4th. We have people coming from Europe, Australia, United States, Canada, all over the world will be joining us to talk about different aquaponic cannabis related topics, from pest management to soil to water, nutrients, fermentations that you can use in aquaculture, all different types of cool stuff. And it'll be all held for free live here on the YouTube channel, Potent Ponics. And we'll also have sponsors from wonderful companies that are donating different products. I know Recharge is going to be doing some giveaways. I got to go back and look at the rest of it. I have a new flyer we're going to be putting out next week once I get the last of it put together. But we'll have a whole list of new awesome sponsors that are going to be giving away things in between talks, and we'll have a whole bunch of cool surprises. And then we're going to have a commercial panel of commercial aquaponic cannabis producers and just a bunch of really awesome education for people to, if people are interested in moving their company into a more sustainable direction, or maybe you are, want to be able to donate a large amount of food to your local community while it's producing medicine for your community. It's a great way to do that as well. So that'll be a really wonderful event that we'll be putting on here in October. We've talked about about a year and a half now. We've talked about doing an aquaponic cannabis conference specifically around that for 2 days, and we're finally making it happen. But due to the current world circumstances, it'll be all online. So
Cool. Wait, can you send me a link to that?
Oh, absolutely. I
I'd
will
be
send
happy to
you
share that.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll get it
Absolutely.
up on ilovegrowingmarijuana.com too.
Yep, I have a website for it. I don't have it live yet, but I do have a flyer and everything for it. So I can definitely send that over to you.
Please,
Alrighty.
please. And I do have one correction. Neptune's Harvest is the name of the nutrient, my locally produced nutrient from fish guts. I think I might have said something else. So Neptune's Harvest. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll have to look into getting them on. I know there's one or two other companies that are doing those aquaculture based stuff, and they're always really cool to talk to and how they got into it and the benefits of it. And we were all huge proponents of fish based nutrients, and we love fish as much as you love ponies. So
Nice.
we are quite familiar with them, but we love to promote people that are on the same wavelength. So definitely check that out. Neptune's Harvest, if you're looking for a local Massachusetts based fish nutrient product. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
We've got
Yeah.
a large membership. We got a large membership from Massachusetts on our website, on our forum, our support forum, cultivation.
Very cool.
Forum. And yeah, it's so see, I run ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, and we do the cultivation forum there. But when Massachusetts legalized, it's like it seemed like everybody that got legal in Massachusetts joined our forum. I swear to God. So
oh no, I'm sure it's yeah.
I'll put a thing out for you, Vermin. Yeah.
Thank goodness for small favors from the government, right? Oh, good. You're not going to throw me in jail for growing my weed. Thanks a lot.
Hey, don't piss them off and get them to change now.
That's what he doesn't tell everyone. The hat actually stores his stash. He's always got a bunch of pounds stored up there.
So you got your hair and he's got his hat.
Oh yeah. Alrighty, well that'll I think Marty had to take care of his kiddos. But we'll wrap up the show. We'll have another wonderful guest again next week, and I appreciate you for watching. Again, Mr. Vermin, would you love to tell everyone how they can find more information about you as we wrap up?
Sure. VerminSupreme2020.com, VerminSupremeInstitute.org, The Real Vermin Supreme on TikTok, at Vermin Supreme on Twitter, Vermin Supreme for President, blue check mark on Facebook. I think it's Vermin Supreme for President on Instagram, and also Vermin Supreme 2020. And like I said, I think there's a Discord. I think there's a Reddit. I don't know. There's fan art all over. I just think it's funny to just Google Vermin Supreme and then look at all the images, because it's like there's some wacky stuff there, man. I don't know. All depends what you're looking for, really. And of course, I'm available. I do stuff. I'm sure I do stuff. I'm just not sure what I do in this strange new world we live in. So I love to do the personal appearances, but now they're online. And but I was looking at one of those big giant clear hamster balls that you can get, like. I'm exploring the possibilities of making personal appearances in big giant Ziploc baggies or something. But because together we will lick the coronavirus. Wait a minute, no, don't lick it. That's not a good idea at all. Of course, if I am ever elected, I will outlaw the COVID-19. That's number one, and I will create COVID-19 free zones because that works so well with drugs and guns, keeping them out and stuff, making a free zone. And I will go back in time and I will kill baby COVID-19. And I will, in fact, build a microscopic, antimicrobial, antiviral wall around America and follow that up with a moat filled with hand sanitizer. So I think together we'll get through this test. Thank you.
Have you thought about giving baby COVID to baby Hitler?
Maybe as a playmate. Yeah. Okay. That could one be
Two
one way to go.
Two problems always solve themselves that way.
Yes, that we could make that happen. I think with the proper time travel technology and the will. The will is the important thing, because where there's a will, there's a way.
All
Could
right.
happen.
And Roger, how do people find you?
You can find me Roger Latewood on Facebook, and you can find me at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com. Just come and join, and shout out to Latewood in the green room when you get there. Got a lot of great.
That's a great URL.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think of that one, but I did get lucky to be hired by him, so that was pretty cool.
And you guys can find more episodes of the show over at Ponics if you want to watch the video version, along with a bunch of other awesome cannabis and aquaponic education. And we have recently did a long series on pest management around beneficial insects. So if you're looking for beneficial insect solutions for your garden, we have quite a wide range. Ooh, that's some nice looking bud there.
Yeah, that's from 2018, summer 2018. And just curing along nicely. And I've got last year's stash. When this one runs out, I'll be smoking that until I can harvest and cure the next one. And life is good in Massachusetts. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. You can find out our recent series on beneficial insects, and then we have a bunch of other videos coming up on some other cool topics, and then you can find us in audio format on your favorite podcast app. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys again on Tuesday. Cheers.
Good night, everyone.